I'm going to list a few of the OTAs, online travel agencies, where you can list your property. So I'm going to give you 9 websites where you can list your property. The last 4 that I'm going to mention are very specialist websites for a very specific sector. First one, everyone knows it, AirBNB. We use it. It was the first one that we started using. We stick to it, very user-friendly. Whenever we have a new property, the first website where we list it is AirBNB. Not only people rate our properties, but we also rate and give reviews of the people that stay, so we can see, have they stayed before, do they have experience in Airbnb, have they been good guests to other people. So it's especially if you have a house that you might be a bit worried who's going to stay in there. I would personally use Airbnb and just turn the instant booking off, and you choose who you want to stay in your property. It's one of the few big ones that allows you to choose who stays in your property. Number 2, Booking.com. Of course, Booking.com is much bigger than Airbnb. It seems that in the UK, people use, at least for now, Booking.com more. The thing is that I personally use Booking.com when I'm looking for something, when I'm not looking for a house, but generally it's for something more business-like. That's from a guest point of view. From a host point of view, it's not as user-friendly as Airbnb. You cannot choose who stays or not. You cannot request information from the guest before you accept them. It's literally, if you post your property in Booking.com, any person that decides to book, you just book directly straight away, and you cannot just cancel without any really giving them a reason. However, I must say, customer service in Booking.com, it's amazing from both point of view, from a guest point of view and from a host point of view. Vrbo, we listed recently one of the houses in Vrbo. The thing with Vrbo, it seems to be very personal. We don't have much experience in Vrbo, so there's not much that I can say. I know that it seems to be growing. There's one thing that it seems that you can only list a house, over the overall house, but you cannot really list rooms in a house. It has to be the whole house. When I created the account with them and I posted one of the properties, it was fun because in Vrbo they call you back to verify if you're the owner, if you're the manager, tenant, whatever of this property. They will ask for proof. They're going through a lot of verification processes, which is good, especially if they're starting. I guess they want to do things right. Hotels.com. I know it exists. It's one of the biggest too. Very well known, but we don't have any properties in them, so we really cannot comment on the benefits or disbenefits of them. But it's just one that needed to be included in the list because it's really one of the most well known. And the same applies with Expedia. Expedia is also included in the list, but we really don't use it. At least not as a host, so we don't have any feedback for it. For the last 4, these last 4 are very specific for service accommodation and are the ones that I have heard of here in the UK. It's very helpful, especially for long bookings. It's for corporates, for businesses that are looking for employees to stay for a long period of time in a certain area when they travel away from the office. Situ.com. They market themselves as a global service accommodation specialist for corporate travels. So basically that. A business, have employees, are traveling somewhere and want to stay for, 2 months or so. So what they do is the business goes and requests, we need a house for 7 people from this date to this date. Each of them has to have a room. Anyone make an offer. And then people make an offer and then that gets sent to the business and they choose where to stay. And then there's Silverdoor, which is very similar from my understanding to C2. But again, we have never used it, so there's not much that we can really review about. Theaterdixbooker.com. I found it interesting when I found out about it. It's very specific and it's for people working in theaters. We haven't used this one, but we know people that have used it and they say they get a lot of traffic from it, so good. Well, at least in Leeds, seems to be something that people that work in theater use. And then final, is Comfyworkers. We have used Comfyworkers, and the way that they work is what I described initially. You register your home or your house, your flat with them, and then there's this group of people that are looking for a flat, 3-bedroom flat in this area to stay from this date to this date. And then you make an offer, they tell you what's the budget, and then, well, if they accept it, then you get a long booking with them. I don't know if they work internationally, but they definitely for sure work in the UK, and is for contractors. We have many contractors in the past, and they all take care of their houses. They literally just go there to work, and then they want some nice place to stay. Well, they can have the breakfast, dinner in the house with the kitchen, so that that's the reason why they don't choose sometimes to stay in a hotel. Well, that's the list. Those are the 9 online travel agencies that we know of that work here in the UK, and a few of them that we have used. In future, I'll make a review, more in detail review of those that we have used in the past. That's it for today.